Hey you guys, it's your girl Najwa. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell so you know whenever I post a video. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 2. So like I said, I'm going to be following up with you guys. I'm going to try every week, but I can't say it's going to be every week. Right, I'm located in Europe. I'm American, but I live in Europe. I live in France. And so what it's saying right now is that it's on episode 4. I don't know in real time back in the States what episode it's on, but it's on episode 4. I've watched up to episode 3. So, but today we're going to talk about 2, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about 3, and then we'll talk about 4. I still need to watch number 4. But you guys saw my last review on episode 1. You pretty much know where I am at with the characters. I love Drew. I think Kandi is trying to be someone she's not. I think that Shereé she keeps falling for the wrong guys. And maybe she's being a little, maybe she could be a little bit more modest. I'm sorry. Overall, generally, I would like to see more representation in, the whole Bravo franchise as a whole. I'd like to see more people of color in other series, and I'd like to see more white people and Asian people and Latino people and Arab people and, Caribbean people. Well, I mean, we do have Sanya, but I'd like to see more representation, period, in the Atlanta franchise as well. Kenya Moore needed a therapist a long time ago. Marlo, so proud of her. And who else? I think that's everybody, right? Like I said, love Drew. So, the episode keeps going on with this 40s party, which I think is just a hot mess. Like, okay, first of all, knowing where Shereé came from with Bob she was in a very emotionally abusive marriage with Bob Whitfield. And we found out later on that it was also physically abusive, and so she had 2 children with this man. And Shereé is someone who, she's like someone who I grew up with, a friend of my mom's, really hard on the exterior, but really soft heart on the interior. And I just wish she would show more of that softness on the inside. But it's clearly a protection mechanism. And I just want her to find a good man. The guy she dated last season, we know that ended with him standing her up. He was like an ex-con, him standing her up, and then we find out that Kenya Moore has some tea on this new guy, that he slid into Kenya Moore's DMs and that he cheated on his wife. And so that ensues at the 40s party, where Kenya basically goes off on Shereé and her new boyfriend, saying, like he is a cheater, essentially. And Shereé is essentially saying, okay, well, why are you bringing that up here? Of course she's bringing it up there because it makes for good reality TV. In real life, if it was really a girlfriend that you love, you probably wouldn't go about it that way. But at the same time, I think Kenya Moore needed a therapist a long time ago. Like I said, I think she constantly acts out from trauma from her childhood, dealing with feelings of abandonment towards her mother and her father. But with that being said, I think that her motivations were in the right place. I think that she was trying to protect her girlfriend. It's just her execution was probably not so good. And I just wish that Shereé really would look for someone without a sordid past. Often what will happen with victims of abuse is sometimes they get caught in cycles of abuse and they keep dating the same type of people because for a plethora of reasons. I think in some ways they feel like they can save them. I think in some ways they feel like they're not good enough to have someone who is truly compassionate, honorable, someone who is not going to commit infidelity, someone who is loyal, someone who is kind and sweet, who wants to maintain a partnership with you, someone who is a shoulder to cry on when you need it, and someone who will congratulate you when you have your joys and your successes. I just haven't seen Shereé dating those men, you know, and I really hope that she can get past that cycle. I think that is really funny to watch Drew and Ralph because we know now that they filed for a divorce. And I told you that Drew showed up 3 hours before Ralph to file the papers for divorce. So that means like she woke up early to get there, guys. So it's funny to see their interactions. You know, Ralph is helping her with this single that she's dropping. Like I told you guys, I think that Drew is an incredible entertainer. You know, she's a great vocalist. We know her from Disney Channel and White Chicks and, you know, movies. And her characters, they essentially seem so much like who she is as a person. A little urban, a little cutesy, but also at the same girlish, but at the same time maybe a little bit tomboyish, down to earth. You know, like I don't know, however you want to describe it. She's probably not an Emmy-winning actress or anything like that, but she's got talent. She's got talent, and so we see her shift a little bit more of a focus on her musical career, and I really like that because I think she's a strong vocalist. And Ralph is helping her with that. We also see that she's struggling with her dad. Her dad is going through, I think, Alzheimer's, and he doesn't really remember everything all the time. And I think it shows like a recording of him listening to Drew sing, and it kind of all, you see that light come on his face, and it all comes back. And I thought that was beautiful. You know, living through my dad passing at the age of 67, very young, from cancer, and yeah. Those last few years was rough. You know, it was like looking at an 80-year-old man in a 60-year-old man's body, and it just never is easy. And growing up in a functional home with a functional dad, at least, you know, your dad is like your superhero when you're a kid, you know, and so all of that stuff comes rushing back when you're seeing your parents go through old age and go through illness and sickness. And so I thought it was nice that they showed that. You know, I don't know what was going on in the background of Drew and Ralph's marriage, but as I said, I think Bravo is a divorce maker. It's a divorce maker. Like, and there are statistics to back that up. So many women come on the show and get divorced. Now, I am not trying to excuse bad behavior. I really, really am not. But I think we have to realize what a divisive and polarizing world we live in. People will just try and encourage a divorce or the breaking up of a marriage just because it makes good drama, you know. But unbeknownst to the person who is, and many times the housewife who is going through that, to her, you know, it looks like everybody's got her back. Like, oh, you deserve this. You deserve better. But we just covered that video with Michelle Obama talking about how for 10 years she didn't even like Barack Obama. Of course, that doesn't mean absolutely literally. But people grow. They change, and they adapt together. My grandparents were married for 60 years. Neither of them were perfect. But I just feel like I said, I think Kandi needs to watch out because she's doing the same thing. She's airing her grievances about her marriage with Todd. But at the same time, you got to realize that these women on the show are not necessarily just your friends just to be your friends. They're also trying to make good reality TV so that they can keep getting their paycheck. And the world, the people who are regarding national television, and people even, you know, abroad who are watching this, they're watching it for drama. They're not watching it for the sake of your marriage. So I really hope that Drew and Ralph, that this was really truly their decision to divorce. I think it was. Like I said, I'm not trying to say that this divorce wasn't supposed to happen, but I'm just putting it out there that I see a lot of divorces on the Housewives, and I'm not sure that they're always coming from the right place. I hope that this one was. Divorce isn't something that anybody should just be attaining towards. But again, that could just be my biases. And watching, you know, the interaction with Drew and Ralph, it just is so bizarre. So bizarre when you know that season dropped and they're all happy lovey-dovey on the show. It's just like with Shannon Dorr and her husband. What was his name? David. Shannon and David Dorr, they freaking renewed their vows, got divorced 2 seconds later. Vicky Gunvalson and her husband renewed their vows, got divorced 2 seconds later. Now, Shannon, she really fought for her marriage, and Vicky, I feel like, is the only one, which I love Vicky Gunvalson because she's just real. I feel like she is the only one who outright said she really, really regrets divorcing her husband. She regrets divorcing Don, and that she had outside influences who were encouraging that. Bravo is a divorce maker, is a divorce baby maker. We continue to see more about Kandi and Todd's relationship, and you know how they both are just on their empire making game, and how that doesn't always cultivate for such quality couple time. We definitely see Kenya still with her you know, she's got a new boo, and but I just never know when to get attached to her new boos. They never really seem to stay around, and I think that often has to do with the fact that these women aren't taking a moment to emphasize, you know, some wholesomeness. You know, I'm not trying to say like, you know, put some clothes on, but you know, you're probably not going to find that right person if you're not really focusing on growth and your inner growth and spirituality. There's a lot of focus on hair, on makeup, on tight dresses. I don't want to sound like a conservative lump, but yeah. If you're searching for love, and you know, if you're searching for love and you really haven't worked on that self-growth journey, because you're not gonna, like my mom says, one day the old lady is gonna come knocking on your door. One day your tits gonna start sagging, your booty gonna start sagging, and you know, you need to love yourself and have growth in yourself from then. And who is you have to know, okay, what is the person I'm looking for? Who is the person who's gonna still love me even when my boob's sagging, when my booty's sagging, you know? I just don't know that the women on this franchise are really looking for that in total. And Kandi and Todd are pretty much the only functional marriage we see on here, even though it's called The Housewives. And, you know, seems like Kandi has fallen down that same trap of letting Bravo and, you know, the need for gushy reality TV kind of take some of those family values out of the picture. But, you know, I don't know. And that's pretty much the episode. So that's the episode, and that's my thoughts. So I don't know. You know, everything is so divisive and what's the word that I want to say? Controversial these days. Can't talk about anything. We can't talk about anything. But yeah, I would get lashback if I say that they are doing good, and you know, if I'm saying, oh yeah, they did, but I would also get lashback if I say that they're not modest enough. You know, people are always going to come with something, but if you're going to have a show about housewives, you would think that some of them would actually be in functional marriages, but that's not going to create good reality TV. I think we need to get back to we need to get a little bit of focus back here, you know? We don't need to always be ratchet. As I've said in another channel, I think that the most functional marriages I've seen across the franchises are Kyle and Mauricio, Lisa Vanderpump and Ken Vanderpump, and neneleakes and Greg Leakes. You know, even though neneleakes and Greg Leakes, they got divorced and they came back together, it's rare. I feel like it's very rare that you see functional marriages on here. And oftentimes when you do see them, those wives don't come back because people are just like, oh, well, that's boring, you know? Like, it just shouldn't be like that. But, you know, anyway, maybe they just need to go ahead and relabel this franchise the Divorce Wives Club, you know? I feel like that would be a little bit more realistic. But anyway, I would love to know what you guys think. I think that episode 3 was a little bit more interesting than episode 2. Episode 2 kind of gave us a little bit more context, if you will. I'm really, really happy and curious to see what's going to keep coming. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any ideas of what the rest of the season holds, let me know. If you know about stuff that I don't know about yet, please don't give any spoilers. And if you're new to this channel, please go ahead, hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell so you know whenever I post a video, and I'll see you next time.